York City. Through Leia's Audition, we will explore the amazing human brain. Leia's brain contains about 100 billion neurons, specialized cells that send and receive electrical and chemical signals. Through complex neural networks, a single neuron can set off thousands of connections across her brain. Down to the tips of her toes, Leia's brain communicates with her entire body by way of neurons that make up her central nervous system. Leia's brain integrates everything she does. But at the same time, her brain has specialized regions that work somewhat independently. The brainstem connects the brain to the spinal cord and onto the rest of the body. Vital functions such as breathing and heartbeat are regulated by the brainstem. Looking like a mini brain at the back of the brain is the cerebellum, which plays a big part in coordinating movement and balance. Deep in the center of the brain are highly interconnected structures called the limbic system that triggers emotions and processes memories. The basal ganglia stores how to do step-by-step activities, such as tying your shoes. The cortex is the wrinkly outer surface of the brain. The creases and folds of the cortex provide lots and lots of extra room to pack in millions of neurons. This tight network of cortex neurons allows us to think, talk, plan ahead, and direct our actions. Notice how the outer portion of the cortex is neatly separated into two hemispheres. The left hemisphere controls the right side of the body, and the right hemisphere controls the left side of the body. Thankfully, a thick band of nerve fibers connects the left and right hemispheres. Otherwise, the left hand literally would not know what the right hand was doing. As Leia walks into the dance studio, what she perceives shifts with every step. How does her brain sort out what she takes in? Light enters Leia's eyes and hits the retinas, where specialized neurons then turn them into electrical signals. Signals travel along the optic nerves to the visual cortex, a region at the back of the brain. Leia's visual cortex encodes the signal streams as color, shape, motion, and more, and integrates the information so that Leia sees. Similarly, Leia hears with her auditory cortex, here colored green. Sound waves enter her ears and are converted into neural impulses. The auditory cortex interprets the neural input as speech, music, or just plain noise. As Leia moves, her motor cortex, the central red strip, sends messages out to her muscles. For every part that moves, legs, fingers, lips, there's a corresponding area of Leia's motor cortex that controls those movements. Millisecond by millisecond, Leia's brain takes in constantly changing inputs from all of her senses. At the same time, her brain continually sends new outputs or instructions to her body. It's this awesome processing power that allows us to experience our environment as an integrated whole. Hearing her audition number, Leia is suddenly very nervous. She feels that her whole life as a dancer depends on this audition. Leia's amygdala, a part of her limbic system, has triggered specific areas in her brainstem that then sends a signal to her heart to beat faster and for her skin to sweat. The brainstem controls things you don't normally think about, like your heartbeat or breathing. But right now, Leia is thinking about her breathing. Leia's dance instructor has taught her to consciously slow down her breath in order to relax her nerves and focus on her performance. Intentionally, Leia's prefrontal cortex, here colored violet, sends a slow down signal to her brainstem. The prefrontal cortex, the area just behind your forehead, thinks about and directs many other brain functions. This may be the reason why humans, compared to all other animals, have an infinite capacity to imagine, solve problems, and create. In the moments before auditioning, Leia imagines her dance solo, making sure that she nails even the most difficult moves in her mind's eye. Areas in her basal ganglia, cerebellum, and motor cortex are now firing away as she imagines her solo. Look at how Leia's brain appears now, and compare it to how it will look when she actually performs the solo. Will it look the same? Let's see. Because Leia has practiced her solo many times, her motor cortex, the outer red strip, cerebellum, and basal ganglia work together to seamlessly coordinate her movements. Remember how you learned to tie your shoes? At first it was difficult, and then it became easy. That's because after practicing many times, a procedural memory for how to tie your shoes was stored in your basal ganglia. Now you don't have to think about how to tie your shoes. You just do it. She's done it. This has been her best solo performance ever. Because she's so happy with her performance, Leia will remember it for a long time. Leia's hippocampus, a part of her limbic system, will let this memory go into long-term storage in those areas of her brain that were active when she performed her solo. Practicing any skill over and over again creates more efficient neural pathways and stronger memories that lead to better performance. Just as Leia did get into the Juilliard School. As a toddler, you learned to walk. Your brain laid down neural pathways that connected regions in your brain that holds together your knowledge of walking. From walking, you moved on to running, even dancing. Everything you do changes your brain. Explore the most beautiful, exquisitely complex part of you.